Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a first look. I've not tested him yet in advance. I'm very excited, and I'm recording this before you guys even know what is actually changing with him. But we are getting a big buff to Ash'nar Dragonsoul. I would call it a significant buff to how he works in Form 1, and actually probably kind of a rework in Form 2 that will change him up fairly dramatically. He's still a defense damage dealer, but a couple of his skills are now a lot better. So, what has changed? Well, we've got a fancy infographic to break it down. Now, let's zoom in here. I want to highlight this as the first major change, which really changes everything. Before, he used to have 63 crit damage when ascended, which is like good for a damage dealer, but he doesn't really do damage in Form 1, and 105 base speed. Now, he no longer gets extra crit damage, but that's really not a big deal. But this is massive. He now has 115 speed base in Form 1, which is the highest in the game. He now has the highest base speed in the game, tied with champions like... Off the top of my head, who even has... I mean, he's tied with Lazarius. He's tied... I think our base is the same. Those mythicals. Lamasu has the similar sort of stuff. Very few champs. I mean, it's faster than Arbiter, who's 110. It's faster even than Sifu, who's 114. He's one ahead. But that's pretty big. And I think part of why that's so big is he does have a 30% turn meter boost. So as a turn meter booster, now he doesn't have a speed aura, but he is as good at speed boosting effectively as Arbiter. Pretty much the same. I think it's the set. Our base is also, I believe, a 30% turn meter boost on that. Yeah, now she obviously gives buffs as well. But yeah, a 30% turn meter boost with 115 base speed is enough to catapult the champion to relevance. Now, I think one of he was actually used, particularly in high level play, because in high level play, you've got champions like Gizmak, Sulfurion, Volcanos that are incredibly strong, and he effectively neuters a lot of what they do because he makes HP burn debuffs placed on allies heal them instead of damaging them. So champions that are trying to blow up HP, I mean, Volcanos would be a great example, trying to activate all those burns, he's just making those heal you instead, which is cool. Now, he has also received a couple of reworks in Form 1. We'll cover those very quickly. So his passive still heals you. We now have a new thing. Right? A new thing. Allies do 3% more damage for every active HP burn debuff. Simple enough. That's pretty great. You put them into your Hydra team. Cool. Your whole team's just doing 12% more damage for free. Pretty sweet. That's pretty great. Well, on top of him pumping out a ton of healing and burning the enemy heads, etc. So that's really good. They've also adjusted this. Before, he used to get the max HP for every active HP burn debuff. It was 5% stacking up to 25. So you needed 5 enemies. So in Hydra, in Arena, there's only 4. So that wouldn't quite work. Now, he can put burns on your team, which would let him get there. But it's a little bit awkward, a little bit annoying. This has been massively improved. Every HP burn debuff placed by this champion while in his base form increases max HP and defense by 5%, up to 25% across both forms, and it will not reset. And again, bearing in mind, this A3, weaken and burn on all enemies, and burn on all allies, so he will he'll basically instantly give himself 25% more HP and defense in both forms, and he's a defense damage dealer in Form 2, so that's effectively, without any changes to Form 2, that's effectively already a 25% damage boost to his second form. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay, now his A1 also changed, and that's, I would say, not too important. It was a triple hitter before. Each hit with a low chance to increase the duration of burn on the target. Still a triple hitter. Each hit has a 50, so a higher chance now to increase all debuff duration. That's so much better. And a 100% chance to increase the duration of burns if the initial chance does not activate. So let's see, does it get affected by books, actually? No, it doesn't. So straight up, every hit is a 50-50 to extend all debuffs. And then if it doesn't extend all debuffs, it will always extend the burns, no matter what. So you will always extend burns, and then you've got a 50-50 per hit to extend everything else as well. He has, I will tell you right now, a debuff spread mechanic in his second form. So extending these debuffs is actually pretty darn strong. So there we go. Of course, he's still activating burns on all enemies and allies on his A2. It's an AoE attack, so I think it can weak hit. This will do more turn meter boosting. So he can turn meter boost with both his A3 and his A2. When he activates burns, he will decrease enemy resistance and increase ally resistance as well. So yeah, pretty great stuff. His damage is based on HP. I'm curious, he might do a bit of damage. I've got an interesting build to test him out in first. We jump over to Form 2. This form has received far more changes, which I think is great. And honestly, we'll see what you guys think of it. I'm very curious. Like I said, I'm recording this before I've even seen your comments, because I presume they're going to reveal this rework before. We're obviously testing this today. We're on the test server with it. Going to bring him into some fights. But this strikes me as one of the best reworks they've done to Mythicals. Radically improving and giving a place for both of the forms without making them OP. Like, I personally despise the Siegfried rework. I'm fine with Siegfried's pretty annoying, but that A3 in Form 1, I hate that. That move is, yeah, never mind. I think it's so dumb. But anyway, let's take a look here. Literally everything has changed. Everything. So his passive, first of all, some nice buffs here. So he makes HP burn debuffs heal your team instead of damaging them. That carries over. It's great. But now, again, he still has that 25%. So the same passive from Form 1. He's getting up to 25% more max HP and defense. If he puts burns in his base form, great. He now ignores 20% of enemies' defense if they're under HP burn. This used to be 15%. It's a small but a nice buff. So there we go. Not only is he effectively now getting 25% more damage, plus a lot more survivability, it's another 5% ignore defense on top of that, which again is a pretty significant damage boost. Really good. Now, his A3 before used to buff himself with increased defense and crit damage. Now it buffs the entire team with increased defense and crit damage. So he now has, when booked, a 3-turn cooldown, increased defense, and increased crit damage for your entire team, which is really nice. Now, before, this move used to provoke targets who were burned, and if they were a boss, he'd provoke them for 2 turns. Now it just provokes straight up, so you don't need a burn anymore. This is really nice for running him in Hydra. If you want him to just be in Form 2 and provoke, you don't need to bring another burner. You can have him be the burn. And then you could potentially do some debuff spreading over here, potentially, and extending debuffs to just keep that burn rolling. You don't need to bring another burner so that he can provoke in the first place. So he just straight up provokes. If it's a boss, 2 turns. That is really only relevant. Well, Magma Dragon. But that's very easy, but more importantly for Hydra. So he's a very consistent 2-turn provoke. They cannot weak hit when hitting enemies under burn, which is great. Makes it affinity friendly, which is pretty nice for that. And the damage multiplier has gone up. His A2 used to be a single target attack. If the initial target was under burn, he'd repeat the attack on all enemies and it would ignore 20% defense. It's still a single target attack, but then it does a debuff spread, taking all debuffs from the target and putting them on all enemies. And then he repeats the attack. You don't need the burn, it just does. He repeats it and increases all enemy debuffs by 1 turn. Both attacks ignore 20% defense, so not just the second one. Both of them do, and it just straight up does more damage. And then his A1 used to be a double hitter. Each hit had a chance to repeat if the target was under burn. Now it's still a double hitter. 25% chance to repeat each hit. So it's not as high of a chance to repeat, but it's not dependent on burn. And it will also place decreased defense, and the damage multiplyer's gone up. I think it's a great kit. So let's try him out in Arena first of all. And then I might sleep and come back and add into the video doing some Hydra. So I've put him in basically my Lazarius build. Now, obviously, I've left the attack gear on Lazarius. But I basically put him in this, and I want to try it out. And the theory here is fast. We build him as a speed booster who has accuracy, but who then can switch into Form 2, and he's still coming in with 5.6k defense. And again, that will be increased, and still hopefully enough crit damage to do the job. And of course, because he is buffing with increased crit damage, even if his crit damage is a bit low, you can kind of get away with it. So this is like my Lazarius gear, so we're kind of looking for stuff with lots of speed. I still have a few pieces of only double speed, quite a few actually. It's a very intensive build, very intensive, For example, this is attack ascension, but it's got HP and defense on it. We have a nice ring for pinpoint. Yeah, you can see we're running 2 speed sets and a divine speed, double pinpoint, and then just the fastest banner I could with accuracy. You're actually lucky to have a triple speed roll. So there we are. It's got the Harp of Casbiel. You know, I'll just take it off, actually. You know, he does. We'll just try him without a relic. Who cares? I've obviously given him the Incinerate Blessing. Double damage from burns in Arena, obviously, and Siege. And for his I've gone like this with the Mastery. So the theory here is I do want him to have, you know, more turn meter when debuffs expire. Maybe that's not too important, and we could get him, you know, Whirlwind of Death or Ruthless Ambush. I've given him more duration on buffs because he is putting out increased defense. Obviously, more duration on debuffs is very important. And yeah, then Helm Smasher for more damage, kill streak. Yeah, so I mean, I think we could tweak this a bit. I think it's a good starting place, though. I think you probably almost definitely want Master Hexer and some of the, you know, just the pinpoint, charged, and Swarm Smiter mastery. Probably Lore of Steel as well. But yeah, there you go. Let's try it out. I am curious. Okay, let's just hit refresh and let's take a look. Ooh, very nasty team up first. I mean, we'll give multiple teams a go. And the team I have put together, oh, sorry, I put it together on defense, but not offense. Let's throw together offense team, and I'll set up a preset really fast as well. So we'll put him in, put in her, and it's our boy Fabian. So he is a speed booster. I would think with 396 speed, that's not going to be good enough for Classic Arena on the test server. People will be like, I would still be quite worried that this +4 6-star Warlord is going to outspeed my team no matter what. But, you know, I think for the purposes of this, we need... I've got Sifi as my fastest at 428. Obviously, in Live Arena, you can ban away their fastest champion. And yeah, so he's basically the same speed that I've got my my Lazarius, and it works well. So we're going to have him come in and AoE and put out the burns on everyone and turn meter boost. So we're going to turn meter boost with Sifi into the turn meter boost from Ash'nar. And then I guess we'll have him do his A2, activate the burns, and do turn meter boosting, and then flip over. And I guess we'll have him flip back priority 1. And I don't know. I mean, we'll see which skill hits the hardest. I'm just going to set him up with this sort of preset for now. I think self-buff, increase defense, and try provoke makes sense. I'm really curious how it's going to go. For Carnage, we're going to do a very similar sort of setup. We're going to go... priority on his form 1, of course, and Infernal Stars is good. We're bringing lots of debuffs in this team, so that will set up potentially a block revive with Carnage. Fabian, I think it's a really nice combo as well. And yeah, the theory here is that, you know, the theory of this team is pretty simple. We boost with Sifi, we then burn them with him and boost us up so Fabian can come in and lock them out. If Fabian doesn't strip Stone Skin, the burns from him should hopefully strip the Stone Skin, and then Carnage can start debuffing them and hopefully kill them. We'll fight this one on auto because we're at a slight disadvantage. And we'll give it a go. My favorite mug. My girlfriend hates this mug. I think it's really cute. Let's see. So we are faster. We've removed the fear. Now everyone else has to pass the fear check. Okay. Well, we weren't fast enough. Well, this is where... well, maybe we get... oh, we got stunned. No, we've got protection set on Sifi, but it didn't quite work, and we're just dead. Okay, well, not the best start right there. It's just... he just got lucky and pulled a +4 6-star Warlord. Just luck. Let's skip the +4s. This, you know, let's do this one, sure. Let's just give it all a go. Why not? Fight them all. And we'll skip the obviously overpowered ones. But let's come in. So here we are. Okay, great. So we boost, and then we come in with him. And again, this is going to burn all of us and burn all of them and give us all a nice, juicy turn meter boost. We can attempt to strip them. We can see we actually didn't have enough accuracy to remove her stuff. And we're actually so fast here as well that we've not managed to take a turn and to remove their stuff. I mean, we'll just go in on the Rotus. We got block actives, which is decent. And he can't remove it, which is decent. We actually killed him, which we don't super want. So now there's nothing really for us to do. She's buffed up. Now, this is interesting because he can come in, and this should do quite a lot of damage to Stone Skin. Remember, Stone Skin takes extra damage from burns. He might weak hit on her. Let's find out. It's an AoE attack. Yeah, he weak hit, but it's still active. I think it still activated the burns anyway. It blew them all up, and Stone Skin's gone. It is gone. Unfortunately, there's also no way for us to actually do anything. We'll just get a little heal here. I mean, let's swap him over. Why not? Let's swap him over to form 2, and let's see his nuke. He's not built for damage. Let's see. Yeah, it's not crazy damage, but he's not built for it. Let's come in here. I don't know. Let's try steal her buffs. Great, we killed her. Now, he is built for damage, and it's still doing just fine. I mean, we'll come in, we'll petrify her because we can. We'll just hit her for some damage. I'm curious how he's going to do on his A2 over here. He will. Oh, I was going to say he'll debuff spread, but there's nothing really to debuff. Let's see. He's going to. Oh, that was a big smack. Actually, that hit really hard. Hell yeah. Okay. Okay. We're killing some fools here. We'll take it. We'll take it. We'll see if we can steal some turn meter. He's very fast as well with this team. Okay, we've put out lots more fears. Let's see his A1. Ooh, we got some repeats right there. Hello. He repeated a few, and he putting the decreased defense. Yeah, I think it's really interesting. He has a ton of potential as, let's see if we can just kill her. Yeah, he has a ton of potential as just, you know, an actual really strong damage dealer without building for damage in Form 1. I mean, let's just go in. Here he goes. Kaboom. Like, he reminds me a lot of Lazarius, guys. He does. As a notorious Lazarius abuser, it's strong. We also need to find someone with burn champs. Let's do Deadwood as well here, and then we'll switch up to a different sort of team. We'll play this one out on auto. Let's see what happens on auto. So we are faster. We boost up. We lock out. Obviously, Yumiko is immune to burns with her veil, though it seemed to be removed. Now we've got debuffs for days. So let's see. How much damage will he do when he activates these burns? Because he should activate everything. You know, it's a decent amount of damage. It's sort of wearing them down. It's not too bad. And then he should swap over now to Form 2 and just nuke them and provoke them as well. Kaboom. Yeah, great. Feels very much... Okay, he doesn't have the speed aura like a Lazarius, but it feels good. Oh, let's fight YST. This should be an interesting one. I'd imagine this is lots of stone skin as well. One thing we don't have, as you can see, we don't have a proper 4-piece pinpoint on him, which might be ideal. But it's sort of that trade-off you have to make. Do we focus just on the turn meter boost or what? You know, because I suppose if he's polymorphed, it could be kind of disastrous. We need to try him in his best area, though. The area where he's already good on live, which is as a counter pick against... And Carnage is nice. Carnage is going to keep spreading his burns as well, which is pretty cool. Kaboom, blows up the burns. It's a nice bit of damage. I have a 6-star blessing I could give to him as well. Be pretty juicy. They all die, and she dies from the burns. Beautiful stuff. I mean, he's doing good damage just with the burns. Let's see. So what I want to find... I did ask people, and a few people said they would put this on the test server. Maybe they've not actually done it yet. Oh, no, here we go. Legend, Bronco. So, yeah, he should be putting out burns at the start. Now, we might just die. He's put a Teox as well. But against Gizmek and Sulfurion, these champions that are trying to do a lot of damage with burns, he should make them just heal us. Now, I don't know what's going to happen. I presume he's just going to get a turn with Teox and we'll die. I don't know. Let's find out. Find out what happens. So, we got burned. Okay. No, he didn't take a turn instantly, so he's not too fast. I mean, we'll burn him, sure. And we'll just take it slow. I'll let him do his moves, I suppose. I'll kill off the Teox with an A1. We'll let him hit us. So he's going to try explode the burns. And look at that. He can't even touch the stone skin. We'll sleep him. He'll just wake up from the burns anyway. Just come in and we slap him. Whose turn is it? Oh, it's our turn. I mean, let's blow up his stone skin. Kaboom. Because we can. Marius is going to nuke us. Nothing we can really do about that. I mean, I guess we'll revive this guy, I suppose. He took a hit pretty well, though. So again, you can see he's activating the burns on us, and it's actually healing us up, which is kind of funky. We are dead again, tragically. I mean, we could switch him to Form 2. We could just keep him in Form 1. I mean, let's see. How hard does he hit in Form 1? I don't know. Oh, not very hard at all is the answer. Ooh, that hit hard, though. That was pretty scary. Guess we'll sleep him. Oh, we're dead. Okay. And now we're gonna... Yeah, we're just gonna die. Interesting. But yeah, so it stops them blowing up your stone skin with burn. Let's see if we can find a Volcanos. I don't know if anyone put a Volcanos up, which would be a very strong counter. Yeah, he's very good against other burn champions, but it looks like Bronco's the only one who's actually put one up. I don't have any of the burn champs, so I can't. I've put up my team here for people to attack. Yeah, it looks like there's no other. We've got one from MTG, which is sort of a burn team, kind of. Oh, here we go. Hell Hades, so again, as the Gizmac. I mean, let's just slap it in on auto. But again, the Gizmac normally is putting out those burns, and you'd rip through your stone skin very quick. But you can see we don't take any damage. No damage is being taken. Stone skin is surviving. Can't destroy it with burns because Ash'nar is here. Ash'nar versus Ash'nar would actually be kind of funny. He's nuked us with the Lazarius, but because we're Force Affinity, we can actually tank it pretty well. All right, we're going to start spreading some stuff. Again, that nice turn meter boost. He'd be a good pick for like the Journal of Necrotis as well. Yeah, this team is pretty nice, actually. It's pretty good. We'll do one more fight for fun, but I'm digging this build. I will be honest. I am digging this Ash'nar build. Now, the trick with it, because we got speed booster, you could use an Arbiter, I suppose, like Arbiter, Ash'nar, Fabian, and somebody else. But getting a good speed aura is a bit tricky. I had to use a damage dealer with the speed aura. I thought Carnage would be perfect fit because, you know, Ash'nar is placing a good few debuffs. He's extending, he's debuff spreading. I thought that would synergize very well with Carnage, and Carnage has the best speed aura. So I think they go well together. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, let's fight MTG's crazy team. This will be hilarious. Ash'nar versus Ash'nar. Yeah, funny. So we'll boost up. She'll attempt to strip. Unfortunately, she stripped everything, and we missed our turn. Oh, we've blocked passives, but he's gonna nuke us. Ouchies, that hurt a lot. Okay, can we survive this? I don't know. Oh, we've killed him. He doesn't have passives. Oh, but his A1 is strong. Oh, but Carnage takes him down. Carnage is great. Ash'nar did nothing there. One more fight for good fun if we can find one that's interesting. Anything a little different? This one's a little different right here. That could be fun. Against a cleanser. Yeah, against a Freya who cleanses. Let's see. So yeah, he's pretty cool. I think the only issue I really have with him in Arena, honestly, is... oh god, we just missed everything because of the Tower Spheres. Well, we've mostly locked him out. So hopefully we'll survive. Oh, we just got provoked on him. Oh, we're provoked on everyone. I mean, he's taken a decent hit as well. It's actually kind of impressive. Kind of impressive. Oh, didn't quite kill her. That's unfortunate. That is unfortunate. Oh, but Fabian is doing Fabian things. I think we might be okay. If he had targeted Freya, we would have been really good because we would have spread that around. Carnage is absolutely doing work here. Again, poor old Ash'nar hasn't done anything. Uh-oh. Don't target him. You'll activate his fears. It would be pretty bad. Kaboom. And they are dead. Here he goes in. He's going to heal us a lot. I mean, he was almost dead. He's getting healed up. Like, he's getting... Look at that healing, guys. And he just boosted his max HP there as well. Like, he puts out a lot of healing. I'm very interested to see how he's going to perform in Hydra with this sort of build as well. So, yeah, there you go. Quick look at Ash'nar in Arena in a speed build. I think he's actually pretty dope. Very similar to Lazarius, a speed booster with interesting utility, turning off enemy burns, making them positive, boosting your damage. He's actually quite tanky. Yeah, lots of turn meter boosting, lots of healing, and interesting support in Form 1. Only downside, he doesn't have a speed aura. And then he has the potential to swap into Form 2. Self buffs. Increased crit damage, actually really good with his speed build because he'd be lacking in crit damage. And yeah, he can potentially be provoking. He can be debuff spreading. He actually seems to hit plenty hard enough for the purposes of Arena. Okay, so for the Hydra portion, you know, unfortunately, we can't put him in place of Lazarius 1-for-1 in this team because, well, Lazarius, unfortunately, is our block buffs and reviver. So it's a bit awkward, but I've constructed a very similar team. So basically, we're going to ditch the Marius. We're going to get increased defense from Ash'nar instead, in theory. We're going to put in Thor for an aura and more damage. I guess we could put in Ash'nar. We could keep it very similar. I think this is fine. And it's probably good to see him versus Thor and Ninja with Mikage. How will this speed Ash'nar build do? Krisk for, again, just protecting the team. Ugo for decreased defense and block buffs mostly, but a bit of decreased defense. And yeah, what we're going to try to do, Mikage is just going to stay. Oh, excuse me. I've misdid that. There we go. Mikage stays in Form 1, and she should be nice. Extending those enemy burns should be pretty good. And we'll be extending our buffs with Krisk and with her. It should be enough. Ash'nar, this should be interesting. We're going to try him, basically do a couple of rotations, 1 into 2 of these. Just 1, 2, and then swap over. I don't know. Do we even need to do Pyroclast Storm twice? It will activate the burns. Turn meter boost. But I mean, the burns probably, there's probably no harm. Let's give it a go. Let's see how we will do. We'll do a quick battle after. We'll just dive in. And we're going to have him just flip between forms. I'm curious how this will work. Speed Ash'nar. Just flip between forms. I think we could easily just leave him in Form 1. I want to see how he's going to do in Form 2. But again, here he's going to be boosting us. He's going to give us absolutely tons of healing. Turn meter boosting on both his A3 and A2. Tons of healing, giving our team way more damage. Kaboom. Look at that turn meter boost when he does that A2. That's so juicy, actually. That is really nice. And now he should flip over, and here he comes in with a nuke. Buffs us increased defense. I mean, it's a bit of damage, and he's just landed a 2-turn provoke. So I'm very curious. I mean, it's kind of a nice thing. With how fast he is, he'll have no problem provoking this head. Krisk might find himself out of a job quite quickly, to be honest. We'll see. And yeah, hopefully he'll be cycling through everything so quick. Here he goes. Ooh, there's his A2. Wow, there was some pretty big damage there. He's not, again, he is not built for damage. To be clear, this Ash'nar is very much not built for damage. He's also going to boost our whole team's resistance, which I think is kind of sick, actually. His A1, pretty decent damage, to be honest, and placing decreased defense as well. It's actually very good damage, considering he's in speed gear, guys. He is in speed. Here he goes in with his A1. Chunk, chunk, chunk. Beautiful. When he gets those repeats, he goes in. Cataclysm Smash. Again, I would say fairly respectable damage. He's going to do a debuff spread next, making our debuffs just more consistent, making them good. Here he goes. I mean, wow, 600. That's some serious damage. I can tell you right now, initial thoughts, considering the builds, they have buffed the heck out of this guy. And I really do feel like this is his build. And here he goes. He's flipping back into Form 1. Tons of turn meter for everybody. Putting out at burns. We've got 5 turns of burn on this head right here, right now. There's a provoke. Perhaps the double provoker is good. Just to make it super consistent. Tons of healing, tons of turn meter boosting. Unfortunately, our health is getting destroyed because he's doing so much healing. He'll be extending debuffs with an A1 with Mikage as well. I guess we got to see, can we survive against the Head of Wrath? Extending all those debuffs. Setting us up well, hopefully. Some more burns out. We've taken a big hit there. Krisk's still alive. It's looking a bit sketchy. A slight problem we've run into is I think he's actually doing so much healing. He's depleting our max HP against Head of Decay quite a bit, which is slightly unfortunate, actually. We maybe have too much healing. We might want like a Grand Oak Podrick with him or something to restore our destroyed max HPs. Again, look at that. Turn meter boosts. I'm waiting for his A2, the turn meter boost right there. Here he goes, looking at Thor. Big chunk of turn meter for Thor. Chunk of healing for our team. Yeah, cool. All right. And he should be ready to swap over into form number 2 and lay down some smacks. It's very interesting. You know, I think Lazarius is another great comparison here. Lazarius, you just leave him in Form 1 because Form 2 just doesn't do anything. This Form 2 is actually useful. Actually decent damage. Good buffs for your team as well. Increased defense. And the crit damage is fine. And yeah, 2-turn provokes for the boss as well. Cycling through that pretty sick. I don't think, even with this crazy speed, like that debuff spread is so good. It's so good. And his A1 is clapping and placing decreased defenses. Here he goes. A1. Chunk, chunk, chunk. 100k per hit. Compare it to the ninja right there. It's not too much, but Krisk trying to provoke Doesn't even need it. We don't even need it, chaps. It's respectable. Yeah, cool. I think let's call this one here. Let's run a quick battle. Yeah, 9 million damage. I mean, Thor's done 24, Ninja 21. He's not built for damage. He's not done as much as them, but I mean, he's bringing us quite a bit of utility. You know, he's doing a lot of the healing, a lot of turn meter boosting. It's interesting. Yeah, let's just slap it through a quick battle. They might die. We don't have a reviver, so they might just die. Let's see if we make it to turn 1,000 is a good sign. Oh no, we wiped early. Okay, so we did wipe, and there we can see. Yeah, so he's definitely doing less damage. I wonder. I tell you what. Let's give it one more shot. See, can we make it to turn 1,000, or is something going horribly wrong and we're all dying in a big fire? Yeah, it went worse this time. One more try. Let's see what happens if we leave him in Form 1. This might be better for the team, right? We don't need his provoke. Just keep burning, healing, and turn meter boosting. And then I'll do a couple of quick battles with him in a damage build, and we'll compare that as well. Oh, that died even faster. Well, we clearly really need a reviver. You know what? We got one more quick battle. I tell you what we'll do. I'm putting him back in the lead. Put in a reviver of some sort. You know, it's probably the fear messing us up. Let's just slap in. That's probably what it is. The true fear. Let's slap in old Rector Drath. And you can come in and do this. And we'll switch back to damage Ash'nar. Seem to be working pretty well, to be honest. So we'll go like so. And yeah, I think again cycling these seemed fine as well. This is you could run lots of quick battles and really test this out, honestly, every week. Because there's a lot of variance and depending on your team as well. Let's see this one. I mean, this should make it to turn 1,000. If this doesn't, something's really gone wrong. With the Rector Drath in there for safety. The ninja should do a lot more damage. It's really a hard carry ninja composition. Yeah, that's it. We made it to the end. There we go. Ash'nar, he's doing some decent damage. He's pumping out some damage. He's pumping out lots of healing. It's interesting. There's definitely a place for him here. Let's swap him into a damage build real fast. See how that works. So it should be straightforward. I saved a global preset. I do have this champion preset saved because I do like it more. We'll just steal the chicken's gear. So more damage, still plenty of accuracy. Swap that over. Can we get him into a high defense banner would be the way to go. And yeah, that looks good to me. Big chunk of extra defense. That will do. Okay, this looks solid. Can we roll this up? We'll give him be cheeky, give him a big speed glyph. Oh, kind of. Can't re-roll this. We got HP. I mean, it's still useful. So what we'll have him do this time, let's try him with damage. Oh, shit. I didn't mean to do that. He's stuck in Form 1. Well, that's no good. I'm going to have to run this one manually. Well, I guess I'll let it run manually and we'll be back in like half an hour. Oh, this is not good. This one doesn't count because he's done a chunk of damage, but he's not switched to Form 2. So for this, what we want to do now is damage dealer mode. We want to have him go, clear all this out. 1, number 2, and don't use this. So just place burns on everything to stack his passive, swap into Form 2, and then just go to town. Go to town. And he's sort of the provoker. We don't even need the Krisk. Now, Krisk is buff extending. We'll lose some damage. I forgot to say, he's bringing in the weaken as well. So he's our weaken and burn, which is nice. But yeah, all right. Well, I'll be back in a bit. It's probably a good point to actually jump into the run. We didn't take a look at his damage numbers. So let's actually take it off auto for a second. When he's yeah, powered up effectively. So here I mean, Ninja 1.5 million against a decapitated head. For the sake of not murdering it, let's see if we can hit this one. There we go. Some ninja damage numbers. They're obviously kind of crazy. Here we go with him. I think one fun thing about this, because he cannot weak hit enemies under burn, he's bad affinity for 2 of the heads right here, but he won't weak hit them, which is pretty cool. So we go 1 times speed. Let's see how hard is he hitting. Bam. I mean, 600. He's not bad. It's not bad. It's not crazy, but it's certainly not bad. Right, and let's see sort of how he goes. Ninja out. Actually, Ninja's gonna murder this. We can see. I think he's gonna struggle to compete still with these top tier Hydra champs. Like Ninja's scaling up to a bunch of bonus attack. He's just hitting much harder. I'm not expecting him to keep up. He's bringing us great utility. I mean, you can see the length of these debuffs. Here he goes with the A1. Max. I mean, 200, then 360. It's solid, and he could repeat those for more damage. He placed the decreased defense, which is nice. I mean, I hit this over here. Unfortunately, he himself has been provoked, which is annoying. Means that he cannot provoke this head back. So it's truly tragic. We are, or are we saved? Well, actually, maybe not, because I did waste our provoke. Let's see a little ally attack here. He's going in, doing some chunky hits. Ninja did a chunky hit as well. It's working out fairly okay. Here we go. His A2. Attacks one enemy, debuff spread, then repeats the attack and increases all debuffs on all enemies. Let's see how hard he hits this head. Why the heck not? There, wow, 1.5 million. The second hit did a lot less damage. And unfortunately, we did have the cleanse go through. Despite the 2 provokers, it really lined up very badly for us somehow. Rip. That's unfortunate. Yeah, he's kind of comboing well with Ninja here as well, because Ninja's putting out some burns and then he's extending those, he's spreading them, and that's helping him to not weak hit. It's kind of cool. So that's actually kind of a nice synergy. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. I will say at this point, we'll come back at the end. I'm certainly not expecting him to do anywhere near Ninja levels of damage, but as you can see, he's super tanky and he's pumping out some nice utility. So yeah, I'm sort of seeing him as like a good Hydra champ, but not crazy. Like he's actually impressing me more for arena and live arena. I think he's going to be very good. I think he's going to be then very solid for Hydra. I don't know if he's going to be crazy OP like a Ninja or Chishiro, but I think he's good. I think yeah. All right, we'll come back at the end. Let's take a look and we see the actual numbers. All right. Well, listen, Mikage just got devoured because I forgot to put a curse set in. And it's just half an hour, so I'm too lazy to do it again. We'll just call it there. It's fine. It would have done about 500 million damage all total. I mean, it's not a bad performance. 139 versus 207 from Ninja. I mean, it's Ninja with Mikage. But still, like, that's Ash'nar. He's not going to be, blowing, like, yeah, he's not going to blow, like, Toshiro out of the water or Calamitous or anything like that. But one thing I really noticed looking at the run, he's so good at extending debuffs and spreading debuffs. He's making your team tankier with the increased defense. And 2-turn provokes as well. Like, it's a solid kit. You're definitely giving up the damage of a ninja for that utility, but hey, it's pretty good. Would I bother with this build? Like, I still think that I prefer the other build, though. I have to say, this was his build here, by the way, which is for Form 2. It's good, maybe not crazy. And maybe you'd want to go for Merciless instead. I have to say, I do prefer the other build. I am a fan of the speed build. Yes, I like the speed build. You're obviously giving up some damage, but you're getting so much utility and it's pretty darn interesting for arena. Now, obviously, something I didn't do, which you could do, is if you had a 6-star blessing, you start pushing back enemy turn meter. And that extra 20 speed is insane, but it's so hard to get a 6-star blessing. I do have one. So if I ever pull Ash'nar, I just got a 6-star blessing for him recently. I'll totally do a 6-star Ash'nar showcase in arena. I would definitely be using him for sure, I think, in arena. I think he'd definitely make it into at least one of the Hydra teams. Very solid. Yeah, he's actually a pretty cool champ now. Yeah, I think he's pretty cool. So there you go. Let me know. What do you think now that you've seen some Ash'nar stuff? I've been pretty impressed. I like this rework a lot. Like, I'm curious to see other testing. I'm curious to see proper, breakdown of the damage multipliers. Definitely from what I saw on Hydra, by the way, the first hit of this Magma Geyser hits really hard. That's the big hit. The second attack is strong, but not as strong. That first hit, well, I guess in Hydra, they've got AoE damage reduction. The first hit was really smacking. Like, that was definitely his biggest, hardest hitting move. But yeah, he's pretty cool. He's pretty cool. There you go. Ash'nar. A lot better now. Definitely not the worst mythical anymore. That's for sure. And yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.